Wait.
It looks so real.
Hey, how's he doing that?
Hey, it's Tim,
I'd save it.
and we're Worth It Fridays.
What the?
Welcome to another episode of Worth It Fridays. Woo!
Woo!
Where today we are finally reviewing Back for Blood.
Oh, we're back, baby. We back.
But why is there a 4 there? Anyways, so David, tell me more about this game.
All right, Tim. Back for Blood is a first-person zombie shooter video game developed by Turtle Rock Studio and published by Warner Brothers Interactive Entertainment. It will feature a cooperative gameplay and players versus player combat. Back for Blood is a spiritual successor to the very first Turtle Rock Studio game, which is Left 4 Dead.
The game offers a story mode that is playable in single player and co-op. Players need to work together to finish objectives and survive. There is replay value, as each time a player plays a level, there are corruption cards, which is kind of like a roguelike mode, where they make the game experience different. The zombies are now called Ridden, and survivors are now called Cleaners.
We have many cleaners in this game. The first 4 will come out as Evangelo, Holly, Mom, and Walker. And after you move on and continue playing the game, you get unlocked 4 other players, which are Doc, Hoffman, Jim, and Carly.
For the Ridden, oh, there's a lot. But to summarize, we essentially have some sort of stalker, which is kind of like similar to the jockey. We got the Reeker, which is kind of like the spitter in a sense. We got the tall boy, some crazy one big arm boy. We got the snitcher, which is kind of like similar to a witch in Left 4 Dead 2. We got the sleepers, which are kind of like a mini jockey, but they always come out to surprise hug you. And then we got some of the bosses like the hag, the breaker, the ogre, and no spoilers, but some sort of final boss.
Ooh. And as well, the game offers a card system that really defines your character and your playstyle of how you want to play. As well, PvP mode, which is very similar to Fortnite, where like the map gets smaller, but it's also a faster pace horde mode. There are also many guns to choose from and many types of upgrades to find or buy at the shop for your guns.
There are also melee weapons as secondary weapons, and the weapons and upgrade items are based on a rarity system, so it allows the players to feel satisfied or trying to find better loot in terms of like looking for your legendary weapons with your legendary upgrades.
Yeah, and the game was actually released on October 12th, 2021, and the game is available on PC, PlayStation, and Xbox, and as well, thank you to the studio that created this game that they allowed crossplay.
Woo!
But now let's just talk more about the story here.
The story of Back 4 Blood starts off interesting and has one of the best openings of the game by introducing, all the 4 characters. However, the story does die really quickly to your typical survivor zombie apocalypse storyline. We were even playing with friends when they asked, "What's the story even about?" I honestly couldn't even answer that.
All right, we're almost there, guys.
Cover me, reloading!
All right, here we go.
That's for you, Belisaro.
Is that it? Really? That was anticlimactic.
There are moments of being anticlimactic and a lot of dialogue through the gameplay and less on the cutscenes, which can be annoying.
I mean, a shotgun would have destroyed the barrel, and I feel a pistol would have been too fiddly.
It is somewhat more detail to Left 4 Dead 2, but Back 4 Blood gives you enough context of the story for players to understand the task for the game.
Not the usual
Oh,
stuff,
God.
no antibiotics or things
What?
good copper. In fact, if I hadn't done the inventory, I wouldn't have discovered it at all. The paperwork.
The more we play Back 4 Blood, the more interesting it gets with what Back 4 Blood offers in the gameplay. It's not Left 4 Dead 3, unfortunately, that we were expecting, but it is still fun. It's on its own terms. Since it has more RPG mechanics with the card system and needing to obtain more supply points to get better cards, it feels rewarding to add your cards into your deck that fits your playstyle. The game feels a bit easy on recruit difficulty, but shows us how to blend the mechanics of the mutation and the upgrading system for our decks. And what we believe the dev wanted us to start with is recruit mode. Don't start with normal, because I don't think there is a normal. As we get more cards, eventually we'll be able to tackle other difficulty, needing not only better cards, but better coordination as well. That's the fun part about the co-op part. No matter how the difficulty is, killing zombies with your friend will always be a blast. There are 5 main types of special zombies, not including the bosses that we mentioned, but 3 of the 2 of other variation, which are actually making running into these special, for example, like the hockeys and the tall boys, really intense and different.
Oh my god.
My trap.
The graphics of Back 4 Blood are amazing, as it has, all the right colors and designs for the zombies, which make them unique in this zombie apocalypse, or this Ridden. There's so much blood in the game where your character can actually be like ruby red. The zombies, or as they call it again, Ridden, have a very unique design to them that shows, originality, and as well, being super scary.
Oh, cowboy on me, cowboy on me, cowboy on me! Ah!
Works, right?
We got it. We got it.
There's a manly voice right there.
Now for the costs. We got mixed reviews about the costs, like for me and Tim. But, as Worth It Friday, we thought, like, for solo players, it is definitely worth only you have the Xbox Game Pass. But, however, if you don't have an Xbox Game Pass, but you have another friend who's willing to play with you, then we definitely think it's worth the full price.
Onto the criticisms of the game. There is a lot, as not only the community, but also what we've experienced as well, is, well, the PvP mode is not the same as Left 4 Dead. We're all expecting, PvP campaign, but PvP has a good amount of fun gameplay, as you get to play as the special zombies yourself, but the longevity of this mode doesn't feel intriguing enough compared to tackling Nightmare mode with 3 other buddies.
Doing with random may be frustrating, and the costs of the game may be a deal breaker for some people. But getting the cards, like almost all the cards, will really make the game experience really grindy. And you can't truly play solo and have progression. And as well, there's been some unfun bugs, like when you quick play into a game session, your chosen character's ability doesn't even work. Lame.
The game felt like it was designed for players to start at Recruit, but us gamers look at the difficulty selection thinking, well, there's only 3, Recruit, Veteran, Nightmare, and thinking, well, Veteran is probably the normal mode, in which Veteran mode is not actually the normal mode we're thinking of. The Veteran and Nightmare mode difficulty can feel really unbalanced comparing when you play to Recruit.
Unfortunately, because the game is heavily advertised as Left 4 Dudes, the Left 4 Dudes. Okay. Unfortunately, because the game is heavily advertised as Left 4 Dead 2 successor, the expectation of Back 4 Blood being as Left 4 Dead 3 ends up really hurting the game. The replay value of the game can feel forced if you want to switch difficulty. Can't switch difficulty midway of a campaign. And as well, the bots, well, they do glitch out a lot where they be running in one spot or they just teleporting all over the place. Really kind of makes the game experience very interesting. Maybe in a good way or a bad way, who knows?
In closing, Back 4 Blood is a fun, co-op, first-person shooter game that makes really good use of adding a deck-building function. With its graphics being bloody great, and the many guns, upgrades, and choice of character to choose from can help make the players create the best synergy they can. It really makes the gaming experience fun.
However, Back 4 Blood does struggle with many components of the game that can be a deal breaker for players, especially for long fans of Left 4 Dead, which leads to many mixed reviews about this game. Just search it up on Reddit or game reviews. But yeah, there's a lot of mixed review about it. But overall, we as Worth It Friday think it's worth the game, and we rate the game as 7.5 out of 10. To our rating scale, it's good. It's a good game to play.
And there you have it. That is our review of Back 4 Blood. This time we have a 7.5 is because literally on David's scale of the game, it's an 8 out of 10, and I put a 7 out of 10. So if you guys don't mind, we're just gonna kind of clarify that up. So David, why'd you give it an 8 out of 10?
based on our reviews, the only difference was the story. I don't know. For me, I felt like the story was more detailed compared to Left 4 Dead 2 or 1, just because the campaign from Left 4 Dead 1 and 2, it's very short and linear, while this one's kind of like super long in 4 acts and has more background knowledge of like what's going on, and there's, you know, specific, and they even add like, you know, a final boss where compared to Left 4 Dead, you just got the tank, right? So mini boss and final boss. I just think it's more detailed story. But other than that, yeah, that's my reasoning. How about you, Tim?
Yeah, I think I was more harsh on the story, more than you are. And I think just the gameplay too, just being more harsh on it, just because we're playing, I guess, Left 4 Dead 2, playing, and then coming to Back 4 Blood. It's like there's so many comparisons of like, oh, Left 4 Dead 2 does this, Back 4 Blood doesn't do this, Back 4 Blood does this, but Left 4 Dead 2 like did this better, and it's so forth, and it just ends up being like, oh, I end up being too hard. And maybe that's a fair thing to say, but like, again, as we say again, Back 4 Blood is its own thing, and it's just being held back so much because, you know, the studio that made Left 4 Dead is like, oh, this is like the spiritual successor, you know, naming it Back 4 Blood with the 4 in the middle too. It's like Left 4 Dead and you got Back 4 Blood. It's ugh. So.
Maybe it's our fault. they knew it's a different game. That's why they call it something else instead of Left 4 Dead 3. Maybe it's just it's our fault, guys. It's all of our fault.
So yeah, it's still a solid game. 7 out of 10 for us being, that's still good. There's definitely things that they could add to it, maybe, you know, that could make it better or whatever. But especially with PvP, I think there's like not a lot of people are playing PvP. Which for maybe like our friend group, it's okay. You know, we're more of the campaign people anyways, and maybe one day we'll tackle the harder difficulties at some point, which we kind of are now. But you know, with more people, it's still more fun. But anyways, but yeah, it's its own thing. And also, I guess to note that Xbox Game Pass, you know, gives you the Ultimate Edition as well. So there's kind of like a little perk of like, if you have Xbox Game Pass, it's kind of like, oh, it's one of those must plays. But that's the thing that with games nowadays too, with being like, oh, with games being on Xbox Game Pass, is it worth it? Is it ever, you know, I guess it brings up the question, is it ever worth it to get the full game at its price when, you know, it is on Xbox Game Pass? But anyways, let us know what you guys think. Put in the comments below what you guys think of, you know, game services like Xbox Game Pass and how that impacts, you know, whether you should buy that or buy the full game, you know, in retail and stuff. That'd be great. If you guys like this video, well, click that like button, you know, hit that subscribe button as well. As it shows, we've also hit milestone. Woo! Yeah.
Anticlimactic, eh?
Just like the cutscenes. But click that notification bell, as you know, we have been inconsistent, but we try our best to. But either way, we're having fun as we upload these videos. So just let us know that, you know, if you click that, you'll be the first to know when we upload these videos.
As well as we post stuff on Facebook too, and as well as Instagram accounts. So you're more than welcome to like our Facebook page or follow us on Instagram. That'll be great to show your support for us. And yeah, till next time. Take care, guys.
See ya.
Bye.